Today's very interesting news about Charles Leclerc, considering leaving Ferrari, as Lewis Hamilton shares concerns. Charles Leclerc is ready to walk away from Ferrari, and Lewis Hamilton's latest concerns might be the final push. And Aston Martin refused to confirm long-term fix for Lance Stroll injury. Aston Martin is staying silent, and fans are starting to worry. Is Lance Stroll's injury worse than they're letting on? For more information, watch the video. We also have some equally interesting F1 news. So, stay tuned until the end to find out all. Welcome to DMAX F1 channel. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell to get the latest information. Charles Leclerc, considering leaving Ferrari, as Lewis Hamilton shares concerns. Charles Leclerc is reportedly considering his long-term future at Ferrari. His and Lewis Hamilton's failure to keep up with Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris and Max Verstappen is said to have prompted him to consider sensationally quitting the iconic Formula One team. Leclerc is reported to have reflected on the fact that Piastri has almost as many Grand Prix wins, 7, as his 8 in 7 seasons. There have been 2 podium finishes this season in Monaco and Barcelona, but that seems to be the limit of what Ferrari can achieve this year. Hamilton's own struggles, meanwhile, are claimed to have left the Briton feeling as though he is not being listened to. According to Italian publication Corriere della Sera, Leclerc is considering leaving Ferrari after 7 seasons. His contract does not expire until 2029, by which time the Monegasque driver will be 31. Several drivers, including Piastri and Lando Norris, have taken to Formula One in the years since Leclerc's debut and enjoyed as much, if not more, success. The 27-year-old is reported to be losing faith in the Ferrari project and is looking around at what opportunities might arise, particularly with sweeping regulation changes set to be introduced next year. Mercedes has been mooted as a potential option. George Russell is yet to extend his contract beyond the end of the season, and some reports suggest that Toto Wolff is keen to secure a blockbuster swoop for Max Verstappen. The report claims that Wolff also has a long-standing interest in signing Leclerc, something that could be a possibility if Verstappen remains at Red Bull and Russell moves elsewhere. Wolff was denied the opportunity to entice Leclerc to Mercedes due to Hamilton's sudden decision to join Ferrari. "I expected that sooner or later Lewis Hamilton would leave us, but I didn't think it would be this soon," the Austrian said. "This way he didn't give me the chance to talk with Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris, whom I could have brought here to Mercedes, but they had just renewed their respective contracts. I didn't even get a chance to try." Aston Martin could also present an enticing option for Leclerc, with Adrian Newey now leading the design of their cars. It remains to be seen whether they will be competitive in 2026. Meanwhile, the report adds that Hamilton feels he is not being listened to. Tense back and forths with engineer Riccardo Adami have punctuated his first 9 races with the Scuderia outfit. Hamilton has endured a horror start since switching from Mercedes and has found himself to be second best behind Leclerc. Aston Martin refused to confirm long-term fix for Lance Stroll injury. Aston Martin team principal Andy Cowell feels Lance Stroll's medical privacy should be respected after the Canadian underwent a procedure recently to rectify an old wrist injury. Following qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix 12 days ago, May 31st, Aston Martin confirmed that due to severe pain in Stroll's right wrist, he had decided to withdraw from the following day's race at Barcelona's Circuit de Catalunya. Stroll immediately had an operation to remedy the initial problems sustained after he broke both wrists in a cycling accident shortly ahead of the 2023 season opening race in Bahrain. As he miraculously did then when he competed in that race, Stroll has recovered sufficiently to take part in his home race at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve this weekend. Cowell, however, shied away from commenting when asked directly when the problem was now fixed medically. Speaking to the media, including Racing News 365, he said, "We have to respect everybody's medical privacy in situations like that. I think you know Lance is a determined racer. He was the most upset that he wasn't driving Sunday in Barcelona, and he has been the most determined person in the whole team to make sure that he's here this weekend." Cowell has confirmed that whilst contingencies were in place, such as reserves Felipe Drugovich and Stoffel van Dorn, both competing in Le Mans this weekend, the focus was always on ensuring Stroll could compete. Shortly after the procedure, Stroll was in the simulator as part of his regular preparation for a Grand Prix. In addition, he also headed to Paul Ricard for a run-out in an older car to ensure there were no lingering after effects. "With every situation you have different plans, but Plan A has been strong all the way through," confirmed Cowell regarding Stroll. "Lance is here. He caught up with some of the race team on Wednesday, and we are really pleased with how things have gone over the last couple of weeks, but we always had things planned in and contingencies in place. There has been a great open dialogue and I've been super impressed with the way Lance has got stuck in. He's been in the factory working on this year's and next year's car, having lunch with Adrian Newey, and then going to Paul Ricard, having run the simulator beforehand, so it has been a busy few days. The simulator provided a really good representation of this year's car, and the car he drove at Paul Ricard was an older one, so it was less representative. Cowell further dismissed suggestions that Aston Martin found itself in an uncompromising situation in Barcelona where Stroll pulled out on a Saturday evening after qualifying. If he had done so ahead of final practice, the team could have called on a reserve. We have to respect the fact that all the drivers are ultra-competitive and are elite athletes, and their competitive nature means they want to drive and want to be in the race, said Cowell. I've got huge admiration for all the drivers and nobody wants to miss a race, but when, for medical reasons, things get too much, you've got to stop, and that was the situation in Barcelona on Saturday. But let's think positively and look forward.